Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Learn English at Home. I'm your host, Monica.
And I'm Ethan. We're so glad you could join us today. How are you doing, Monica?
I'm doing well, Ethan. Thanks for asking. I'm really excited about today's topic. It's something we all have, but maybe we don't talk about it enough. We are going to talk about our daily routines.
That's a great topic. A daily routine is the series of things you do every day. Understanding how to talk about it is super useful for everyday conversation in English. You can ask someone, "What's your typical day like?" Or, "What's your morning routine?"
You used the phrase typical day. For our listeners, could you explain what typical means?
Of course. Typical is an adjective we use to describe something that is normal or usual for a person, place, or thing. So, a typical day is what your normal, everyday routine looks like. For example, a typical day for a student might involve going to classes, studying, and then relaxing with friends.
Exactly, and everyone's routine is different. So, to start, maybe I should share mine. But I have to be honest, I don't think my routine is very good. I want to improve it.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it. No judgment, I promise. So tell us about your typical day. What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Okay, deep breath. The very first thing I do is grab my phone. I know, it's a terrible habit. I lie in bed for maybe 15 minutes just scrolling through social media and news.
Ah, the morning scroll. I think a lot of people can relate to that. It's so easy to do.
It is. After that, I finally get out of bed and head straight to the kitchen to make coffee. And I like my coffee very, very hot. So hot that I have to wait a while before I can even drink it.
Okay, so phone, then coffee. What's next?
Then it's the usual rush for getting ready for work. Shower, get dressed, and I usually skip breakfast or just grab a piece of fruit. I want to eat a healthier breakfast, but I always feel like I don't have enough time.
The morning rush is tough. It can be hard to fit everything in.
It really is, and I've noticed that when I start the day feeling rushed and unprepared, it affects my whole day. I feel more stressed and I make poor decisions about food. When I'm tired and stressed, I crave sugary snacks and unhealthy food. It's a vicious cycle.
That's a great phrase. Vicious cycle. Can you explain that for our listeners?
Absolutely. A vicious cycle is a chain of negative events that reinforce themselves. So, feeling tired makes you eat unhealthy food, and that unhealthy food makes you feel tired. It's a cycle that's hard to break. Right. After work, I come home and I'm usually really tired. I want to cook a healthy dinner, but most of the time I just order takeout or make something really simple like pasta. It's another thing I want to change.
Energy levels at the end of the day are a real challenge. I get that.
It's more than just being physically tired. It's like my brain is tired too. After making decisions all day at work, the last thing I want to do is decide what to cook, find a recipe, and check if I have all the ingredients. It's a classic case of decision fatigue.
That's a very interesting point. You used the phrase decision fatigue. That's a great one for our listeners. Can you explain what it means?
And then the evening. This is where it gets really bad. I'll turn on the TV to watch just one episode of a show on Netflix. But one episode turns into two, then three. I fall into a Netflix rabbit hole.
The rabbit hole. Yes, I know it well. It's designed to keep you watching.
It is. And before I know it, it's past midnight. I go to bed too late, and then the next morning I wake up tired, and the whole cycle starts again. I really want to add good things to my routine, like exercise or meditation, but I just don't know where to start. It feels overwhelming.
Thank you for sharing that so honestly, Monica. I think a lot of people feel that way. It's not a bad routine, it's just a very common one. But it's great that you want to make some changes.
So, what about you, Ethan? Please tell me you have a perfect, disciplined routine that I can learn from.
It's definitely not perfect, but I have worked on it over time. My morning is probably the biggest difference. The first thing I do when I wake up is drink a big glass of water. I leave it by my bed the night before. But it wasn't always this way. I used to be a classic procrastinator. I'd stay up late watching movies, eat junk food, and then hit this snooze button a dozen times in the morning. My routine was very similar to yours, actually. I felt tired and unmotivated most of the time. It took a long time to build these healthier habits.
Okay, that sounds simple enough. No phone?
No phone, not for the first 30 minutes. After the water, I do some form of exercise. It's not a long workout. Sometimes it's just 10 minutes of stretching. Other days, it might be a quick 15-minute jog outside. The important thing is just to move my body.
Wow, so you exercise first thing in the morning? I feel like I'd have no energy for that.
It actually gives you energy. It wakes up your body and your brain. After that, I do a very short breathing exercise, not a long 20-minute meditation, just 2 or 3 minutes of sitting quietly and focusing on my breath. Inhale and exhale. That's it.
Just for 2 minutes? See, when I hear meditation, I imagine having to sit still for half an hour. 2 minutes sounds possible.
Exactly. A little bit helps a lot. After that, I make a simple breakfast, usually oatmeal or eggs, and then I'm ready to start my day. I find that starting the morning this way makes the rest of the day feel much calmer and more focused.
And what about your evenings? How do you avoid the Netflix rabbit hole?
I try to have a clear end to my day. For me, that means avoiding my phone and other screens after dinner. Instead, I'll read a book, listen to music, or chat with my family. It helps my brain to slow down and prepare for sleep. I still watch TV, but I try to decide beforehand I will watch one episode and then turn it off.
That sounds so disciplined. I don't know how you do it. How did you build these good habits?
That's the most important question. And the answer is very, very slowly. I have a philosophy of making small 1% improvements at a time.
1%? What does that mean?
It means you don't try to change everything at once. That's the biggest mistake people make. They say, tomorrow I will wake up at 5 a.m., run 10 kilometers, meditate for an hour, and eat only salad.
Yes, that sounds like my New Year's resolutions every year. It lasts for about 2 days.
Exactly. It's too much change too fast. It's not sustainable. Instead, you should pick just one tiny thing to change. Make it so easy that you can't say no. For example, instead of I'm going to exercise for an hour, maybe start with I will do 5 minutes of stretching while my coffee brews.
Just 5 minutes.
Yes. Or for your phone habit, don't say I'll never look at my phone in the morning. Say tomorrow I will wait just 1 minute after I wake up before I grab my phone. Just 60 seconds.
Wow, that actually sounds possible. It doesn't sound overwhelming at all.
Right. Once you do that for a week, maybe you try for 5 minutes, then 10. These small, consistent changes build up over time. It's about building a new habit slowly, not forcing a drastic change that won't stick. 1% better every day leads to huge results over a year.
That is fantastic advice, Ethan. Thank you. I feel much more hopeful now. My 1% change for tomorrow will be to drink a glass of water before I even think about coffee or my phone.
That's a perfect start. And that brings us to the end of our episode for today. We talked about our daily routines and shared some ideas on how to make small improvements.
We hope this was helpful for all of you listening. Think about your own daily routine. Is there one small 1% change you can make tomorrow?
Thank you so much for tuning in to Learn English at Home. We love having you here.
Join us again next time for another episode. Until then, take care and happy learning. Bye, everyone.
Bye.